Today I'm going to talk about and show you around our 65 Mustang Convertible that's for sale. The current owner has had this car since 2000. Before he owned it, the previous owner had it since 1971, where it was stored in a barn. The car had started to been taken apart for restoration, but the restoration was never performed before. It's got its original paint. It's a 289 engine, 2-barrel. It has power steering, parchment pony interior, fog lights as an option, a manual top, and an automatic transmission. You could see that these body panels fit very nice on the car. All the panels are original and these gaps fit very nicely. The car's never been taken apart before. The doors open and close very nice. And again, everything fits together really nice. Even the fitment of the convertible top to the glass is very nice. This car is in nice shape because you could see really how everything's supposed to come together. Even if you look at the quarters, the quarters aren't even too badly rotted. If you wanted to save the car and keep a lot of the original metal, lots of these body panels could be repaired rather than completely replaced. As you can see, as we go around this car, it's amazing how good everything fits, how nice everything lines up. A lot of people who restore their cars can't get some of these body panels to line up this nicely. A lot of times people think that maybe originally they weren't put together that well and these lines didn't line up that good, but that's really not the case. This car really shows that. I'm going to show you some footage of underneath the car, and as you can see, it does need some floor work. It does have some of the typical New England Mustang rust, but it is very solid. The rear frame rails are very solid. The rear frame rails need no patches. They're perfect. There's no rot on the frame rails. The front frame rails are good. The floor supports are good. This car really is in good shape. There's a lot of rust on the underneath, but there's not a lot of rot. You could see here it does need some floor work, and it's also going to need 2 torque boxes, but the inner rockers on the car are good, and all the frame rails are good, and the floor supports are good. So while it does need some metal work, the floors actually aren't that bad. There is a lot of rust, but they are savable. If you didn't want to put in a full floor pans, you could definitely cut out some patches and save what's existing. Next I'm going to show you some of the wheel wells, and they're in the same condition as the underneath. They're definitely there. There are definitely cars that have a lot more rust on the wheel wells, and there's cars that the wheel wells are practically missing. But as I go over all these wheel wells and inner fender wells, you could see that they're actually in really good shape. The wheel wells are going to need some patches, but the fender wells and the front aprons are in really nice shape. They've never been cut or torqued for grease fittings, and they're just very solid, and they'll clean up very nicely for a restored car. Here's another wheel well you could see, and you can see at the bottom they have the typical rot that you see. But they're definitely savable, and they're actually in very good shape. It's also nice, you could see how everything's supposed to come together. It hasn't been messed with and repaired incorrectly before, so when you're going to make some of these patches, you don't have to guess at what it's supposed to look like. Here in our trunk, you can see it's very solid. We have the original quarters, and the trunk really isn't rotted out. A lot of these Mustang trunks are pretty destroyed and very badly rotted, but this one is in overall very, very good condition. The engine compartment on this car is again very solid. Nothing's been torched or taken apart incorrectly, and there's no rot on the firewall or on any of these aprons or the shack towers. They're in very good shape. Again, the frame rails are perfect. There might be some light rust, but no rot. And this car does come with all the parts that are not on the car. It's got a full pony interior. The seats are actually in good condition. The whole interior is in good condition. It comes with a motor or a transmission. Anything that's been taken off this car comes with the car. We've got the original underlayment. We've got the complete interior. We have the motor with all of its accessories. We have the automatic transmission. You are buying a complete car that nobody's ever restored before, which means you're really getting to see how these cars were originally put together, and you're not dealing with somebody else's mistakes. You could check out now the interior of the car. These doors are actually in pretty good shape. The driver's side does have a dent that is repairable. And the floors really aren't that bad. They do need some patches, they need some repair work, but those inner rockers are in great shape. And although the floors need some work, they really are salvageable. There's cars that have much worse rot on them that have been saved. So this really is a good starting point for you. And you could again see how the car was originally put together. It's really nice that it hasn't been repaired incorrectly many times.